Did you know that carry-on rules are changing in 2025? And if you don't know what's coming, your next trip could turn into chaos and maybe even cost you extra cash at the airport. So let's get to what's changing, what's staying the same, and how these new rules might mess with your travel plans. Power banks and electronics are travel essentials, but if you're not up to date on the latest airline rules, they could cause you major headaches at security. This year, TSA tightened regulations, and now all electronic devices must be able to power on during security checks. If your laptop, phone, or tablet is dead when you go through screening, you might not be allowed to bring it on the plane. In the worst possible case, you could be forced to leave it behind. Not exactly the best way to start your trip. Power banks have strict limits too. If yours is under 100 watt-hours, you're good to go. Just keep it in your carry-on. If it's between 100 to 160 watt-hours, you'll need airline approval before your flight. Anything over 160 watt-hours is not allowed at all. Most power banks have their watt-hour rating printed on them, so check before you fly to avoid security trouble. There's also a limit on how many battery-powered devices you can carry. Most airlines allow 15 to 20, which sounds like a lot. But when you add up your phone, laptop, earbuds, camera, tablet, and smartwatch, you're already halfway there. If you're packing extra gadgets, make sure you're within the limits. To avoid any last-minute stress, pack your charging cables in your personal bag. Check your power bank's watt-hour rating before heading to the airport, and try to travel light by only bringing the essentials. Keeping up with these rules will help you breeze through security without any unexpected surprises. If you are planning to fly soon, here's a heads up. In 2025, many airlines are banning smart suitcases if the built-in battery can't be removed. So, check your bag. If the power bank is permanently attached, it might not make it past security, unless you're cool with buying a new bag on the spot. Make sure your battery is removable to avoid last-minute stress and extra costs. If you're flying to or from the UK, you'll want to know that liquid rules are changing, but not everywhere. Some UK airports have relaxed the strict 311 liquid rule, so you can bring larger liquid containers without cramming them into a tiny plastic bag. But don't get too excited, because some airports have also brought back the old 311 rule due to security concerns. So, double-check your departure airport's policy before you fly, or you might end up chugging your fancy skincare products at security. As for Europe, the liquid rule is still the same in 2025. That means liquids must be in containers of 100 milliliters or less, and all containers must fit inside a clear, resealable plastic bag. The liquid rule isn't going anywhere just yet. Airports tried to change it, but here we are in 2025, and nothing's different. Stick to the 100 milliliter limit, unless you want to hold up the security line. If you're unsure about your airport's liquid policies, it's always best to play it safe. Stick with smaller travel-size bottles, keep everything in a resealable pouch, and stay updated on any changes to avoid surprises. But while you're worrying about liquids, don't forget about the size of your carry-on, especially if you're flying with budget airlines in Europe. Flying with Ryanair, EasyJet, or Wizz Air. Well, your free carry-on just got smaller. These budget airlines have reduced the allowed size for carry-on bags, which means if your bag doesn't fit the new limits, you'll end up paying extra, either for a bigger carry-on or to check it in. So now you've got two options: downsize your luggage and pack light, or pay up for extra baggage fees, which can add up pretty quickly. To avoid any last-minute surprises at the gate, make sure you double-check your airline's latest baggage policy before you fly. What was free last year might end up costing you this time. Flying Air Canada on a basic economy ticket? First off, you'll only be allowed one personal item for free, so think small, like a backpack, purse, or laptop bag. If you want to bring a carry-on suitcase, that'll cost you an extra $35, and any additional bags could be $65 each. But that's not all. From January 21st, 2025, free seat selection is a thing of the past. Seats will be randomly assigned unless you pay extra to pick one. And if you're hoping to avoid that dreaded middle seat, you'll need to pay for an upgrade. In short, if you're flying basic economy with Air Canada, be prepared to budget for baggage fees and accept a random seat assignment, unless you want to pay extra for more comfort. Now, while you're planning your flight budget, don't forget to think about what could get you stopped at security, because trust me, you don't want to be that person who gets a full-on pat-down for carrying the wrong stuff. We've covered liquids and power banks, but there are plenty of other items that won't make it past security. Some are pretty obvious, but it's always good to have a reminder. First up, sharp objects and tools. Things like knives, scissors, multi-tools, throwing stars, axes, hammers, drills, and even wrenches or pliers over 10 centimeters long. If you need tools, you'll have to check them in. Next, Weapons or anything that looks like guns, ammo, tasers, stun guns, toy weapons, and realistic-looking props. If you're planning to bring a firearm, you'll need proper clearance before your flight. Then there are explosives and anything flammable, things like fireworks, gas canisters, certain cleaning chemicals, and some aerosols are completely banned in both carry-on and checked luggage. If you're unsure about something, always check your airline's rules before you fly. It'll save you time, stress, and maybe even some unexpected fees. Now, while you're packing for your flight, here are all the things you must keep in mind. We all know the major rules, but some everyday items can surprisingly cause trouble. Some of these restrictions might seem random, but they're in place for a reason, so double-check your bag to avoid an awkward conversation with airport staff. If you're packing a thermometer, make sure it's not a mercury one. These little glass tubes might seem harmless, but if they break, they turn into a toxic spill emergency, exactly the kind of mid-flight chaos airlines want to avoid. That's why they're completely banned, while digital or alcohol-based thermometers are totally fine. Planning to pack a toy gun for your kid? Doesn't matter if it's bright orange, obviously fake, or a harmless foam sword. If it looks like a weapon, security won't take any chances. Officers don't have time to play real or fake when assessing potential threats, so it's best to leave anything remotely weapon-like behind. And that baseball bat you're bringing? Sorry, but even if you're gearing up for the big leagues, security still isn't letting it through. The same goes for golf clubs, hockey sticks, and lacrosse sticks. If it's big, solid, and can be swung like a weapon, it's not getting past security. And finally, power tools and appliances. Yes, people really try to bring these in carry-ons. A hammer, drill, or even a toaster? Nope. Heavy tools and large electrical appliances must go in your checked luggage. But seriously, who's trying to bring a power drill on a plane anyway? Ever wondered why security makes you toss out your water bottle before boarding? After all, it's just water, right? Well, it's because liquids, sprays, and gels can potentially be used to make explosives. Back in August 2006, British authorities stopped a major terrorist plot at Heathrow Airport. The attackers planned to disguise liquid explosives in soft drink bottles and detonate them on flights to the US and Canada. In response, all liquids were initially banned from carry-ons. Later, the rule was adjusted to allow liquids in containers of 100 milliliters or less, stored in a clear, resealable bag. This became the 3-1-1 rule, which is still followed by most major airports today. So next time you have to toss out your favorite drink at security, remember, it's a safety measure based on real threats. Airline restrictions are always changing, and what seems like a harmless item today could be banned tomorrow. Want to breeze through security? Double-check the latest restrictions before you fly, unless, of course, you want to be the next person pulled aside at security.